last time out for West Ham United, we came up against Brentford and we ended up losing in the last minute from a last-minute winner from Brentford. Last time out for Everton, they restricted Man United to a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. This is the Everton versus West Ham match preview for the Premier League. Taking place 2 o'clock on Sunday. I'm joined by Mike for this preview. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you, Jake?
Not too bad. Let's just get on in with it and start off. Everton, what are your thoughts so far this season?
Yeah, tough game. I knew he would do well there. I had a feeling that he was get them going. They made a lot of signings, didn't they, over the last couple of years that didn't really fit. It's going to take him a little while, but I think Benitez will get them going again. And, well, he has so far, hasn't he? Fair dues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. We are going to have an opposition view, not on this show, but tomorrow night when we're up in Everton. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on the channel, we've got pre-recorded interview with a Dave from Falcon Blues TV. So that's opposition preview is going to be on the channel tomorrow evening. Right, let's see who is in the chat tonight. Long live the bowling. Hope you are well. Simon, happy birthday for yesterday, mate. Evening, all sorry for my absence lately. Been very busy. Hope you're feeling better, Jake. I certainly am. Gaza, hope you are well. Brownie, hope you are well. Brownie. Everybody's saying hello to each other. In terms of the game, are you feeling confident? Obviously, we went into the international break off that pretty rubbish loss in the end to Brentford. But are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident we'll pick something up. It's going to be tough, but I think we'll get something out of the game. We've always struggled a bit after the European games, haven't we? With every game this year, I think after the European game, we struggled a little bit. I know some of our guys have been missing and playing. Like Tshirt has been playing a lot of football. Rice only played one of the 2 games, which wasn't too bad. But it's not like they've all been playing, has it? I mean, a few of them have flown around a little bit. It's not like, we've played 3 games in a week sort of thing. I know we're going to be doing that next week, but I think we should be suitably refreshed, or most of the squad should be.
Yeah. Would you be surprised if Alex Crowell took Thomas Tuchel's place? Obviously, David Moyes gets all his players back. I don't know when he would have done it, probably yesterday or, when we get up to Everton. And obviously, he assesses the players' fitness. Obviously, it depends on what he's like. But would you be surprised if we saw Alex Crowell in for a very depleted and flat Thomas Tuchel at the moment?
Yeah, I think the poor bloke's played a lot of football and he needs a bit of a rest. So, yeah, he's not playing all them, the next 4 games, is he? For sure. So this probably would be the right one to rest him after he's played twice again. He's one of the main men for the Czech Republic, and he's always going to play for him, full stop. So, it wouldn't be a shock, Jake.
Czech Republic captain. He's the Czech Republic captain. So, he's playing pretty much every game for them. He's playing every game for us. Yeah. We've got 5 games in the next 19 days. So, we've been bored for the last week or so, Mike. And now they're like London buses. One don't come for a week. And then we've got 5 in 2.5 weeks. Yeah. Moyes has got to be extremely clever in what he does in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. I don't think the fans are going to jump up and down if he leaves certain players out. I think we all realise that some of them have got to be rested.
Yeah.
And he's got to tinker around with the squad in the next couple of weeks, for sure.
Gaza raises an interesting point. Gaza says, I would not be surprised if Fredericks or Johnson plays on Sunday. Now, international breakers probably came at the right time for Ryan Fredericks because he's had time to get over his injury. We've heard nothing about him, but Mike, you'd like to think he's somewhere near full fitness again, which is good for our European and domestic cup games.
Yeah, definitely. He'll play some. If he's fit, he plays a part, full stop. Yeah, don't think it was nice that Soufel sort of rested. He didn't go and play for the Czech Republic. That's good to see. He's putting us first, which is great. But I don't think he's looked 100% fit either. So, hey, Johnson and I mean, it was always going to take his toll on them. Johnson and Fredericks are going to stand a chance of playing in the next couple of weeks. Both of them, I should imagine.
Yeah, I think all of these players were always going to pick up little niggles here and there where they were going to be out a week or so. That was for sure. Gary, evening, another Gary in. We're taking over. It is a Gary fest. There's just Garys everywhere. Jakey Boy, West Ham United's best content creator. Thank you very much. Long live the Bolin. I hate these games after international breaks. I would take a point. Just don't lose. I'd go 1-1. A point's given to you right now, Mike. You taking it away from home at Everton?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd be happy with a point. Definitely happy with a point. We was a little bit lucky to win 1-0 there last year, really, weren't we? Bit of a smash and grab, but they've got a few players missing, so hopefully we may be able to take advantage of that.
Gary says, I would go for a back five for this one. That worries me. I can't lie to you. A back five worries me. Going away from home to Everton, we don't usually do very well at Everton. And I think that would be the wrong thing to do, to go up there. And, you play five at the back. It depends which way you interpret it. You're either parking the bus or you're going for it. And Everton did a job on us at the end of last season where they put three big centre-backs there and just didn't let anything go past.
Yeah.
Would you see us going to a back five or perhaps adopting the same option against Everton this time out?
Well, I think you stick with a back four. I really do. But, our away form's been good. We haven't lost, touch wood, yet. And, hopefully we can get at least another point on Sunday. And Everton, surely they won't adopt the same tactics as what they did against us.
Who knows?
The end of last year. I don't think so. They're at home, maybe with a few missing, but I don't think they'll do that.
Let's go through your starting lineup, Mike. Let's walk through it. So to start off, in goal, Fabianski or Areola?
I'd stick with Fab.
So who's your back four going from right to left?
I would have, if Soufel's fit, he plays at right back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zuma. I'd probably go with Zuma and I'm going to say Diop.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if
I'm going to say Zuma and Diop and Creswell left back, obviously.
Yeah, two in the middle.
Yeah, it may be Crow and Rice. It wouldn't be a shock. It wouldn't be a shock if it wasn't those two in there. If it was those two in there instead of Tshirt. Tshirt may be on the bench.
I could see that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your front four?
Well, definitely Antonio at the top there. Ben Ram, Fornells, and Bowen for me.
Yeah. Jarrod Bowen has been hitting the nose for different reasons in the last week as well. But hopefully he's going to hit those newspapers for those right reasons. And nothing wrong with what he's been doing, but hopefully he can get a goal to score once again. Let's have a look at what you guys are going. Gazza says if we can keep Gray and Townsend quiet, then who knows? See, this is a very big factor in what Dave said when I spoke to him last night, which will go out on the channel tomorrow evening, which I'm just going to whack up on screen. We spoke with Dave from Falcon Blues TV to talk about the game, and he said players on form at the moment. You've got Andros Townsend, you've got Damari Gray. If you keep those two quiet, exactly what Gaza said. If you keep those two quiet, you're on for a good one. And if the likes of Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are fit, which he doesn't think they are, they do stand a chance, he reckons. But you can find out all 18 minutes of that and the Everton opinion tomorrow night on the channel. So let's see what some of your starting lineups. I'll get them in the comments, all in one comment with your starting lineup then. So Diop, Oggy, I can honestly see him going for Diop. I really can. Mike?
Yeah, I think he will. It wouldn't be a shock, but then he's been loyal, hasn't he? But
he has,
yeah. And if Oggy doesn't play, he'd play again in the next game, probably. Yeah. He's starting in the next game.
Yeah. I don't think, this is where people have just got to sit back with the starting lineup and say, as long as it's not stupid, let's just go with it, because I'm just looking at our fixed schedule and it's stupid. So we've got 17th, we've got Everton away. We've got the 21st, we've got Genk. The 24th, we've got Spurs. The 27th, we've got Man City. The 31st, we've got Villa away. The 4th, we've got Genk. 7th, we've got Liverpool. I'm getting worn out saying it all. Honestly, they just keep on coming. Bang, 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 Mike. And this is why we've just got to sit back with these starting lineups and say, do your job.
Exactly, mate. I mean, we wanted to get into Europe. You know, it's great to see us playing in Europe. And like you know, I expect you're looking forward to Thursday night, definitely. It'd be a great night. And, you know, we worked hard to get to it last year. I think we all knew we may struggle a little bit in the league this year if we didn't make a lot of signings. We made a few, but we didn't quite make enough. So, hey, we are where we are at the moment. But, you know, we just got to take these games one at a time and hope for the best. We'll pick up some results in them. You know, and if we don't, I don't think the fans are going to get, you know, start jumping up and down too much. I think they realise that, you know, it's a lot of games. It's a hell of a lot of games. And these international breaks, I just don't like them. It hasn't done us any good.
And of course, with Declan Rice, who played one game over the international break where England were less than impressive against Hungary, a 1-1 draw at Wembley. Just some stats for you on Declan Rice. He's first in central midfielders in the league for progressive carries, first in the league for carries into the final third. He only passes sideways, though, doesn't he? Interceptions, he's top of the table, and he's third for passes into the final third. He's incredible. He's world class. He is world class. Let's have a look at James last week. It was Areola in goal, back for Sufal, Diop, Zuma, and Creswell. Rice and Crowell, and the Fab Four up top. I could definitely see that. Yeah. We wouldn't moan if we had more depth, but we've got what we've got now until January. Yeah. And so we've just got to roll with it. Gaza saying 2-2, 2-1. Of course, Mike mentioned there about the European night. I will be at the London Stadium on Thursday night for the game. And Dad just confirmed, are we going to the Aston Villa game? I believe we might be going Villa away as well after we get back from my holiday, which I'm very much looking forward to. I can't lie. But in terms of Everton, a couple of their target men that I was told from Dave last night are out injured. The main ones, Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He didn't know whether they were going to be fit. He said it was almost like a 50-50 kind of scenario. So if we can keep those two out of the side, they're two big name target men, I suppose you could say.
Oh, definitely, mate. They're two good players, to be fair. And Calvert-Lewin, obviously, he scored the all-important goal against us last year. I mean, we know what he's got, what he's capable of. We're a bit stronger at the back, I think, with Zuma now, so it should make it interesting game.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of the team news that David Moyes has come up with today. He says we are probably like everybody else. We've probably got 1 or 2 injuries, 1 or 2 people coming back from international duty that we're having to look after. We might have some people who are not available. Now, I read that and thought that's very much the thing that David Moyes wouldn't say. Yeah. Mike, I don't know about you, but that's very bland and that's very non-David Moyes like to say something like that.
It is, but I think he's just hedging his bets a little bit. And I mean, that comment looks like probably Souček won't start.
It was for where?
From that comment. That's what I read into that anyway.
Yeah, so do I. Let's take some of your comments. I think 2-1 Everton. Stop drinking Tufty. There we go. Yeah. Not a chance. Oh, Rondon beast mode. That would be so West Ham, wouldn't it? We would link with him in the summer and then Rondon scores. Tufty's good. Newcastle are back, Tufty. Have you got your Newcastle shirt on, Tufty? Let us know. Vlasic, it's an important game for Vlasic as well. Now, nobody's getting past our formidable front four when we've got a full fit side, Mike. And, you know, when's this man got to start performing for you? Because he hasn't been impressive so far.
Yeah, he hasn't done it for me so far. But again, it takes time to adjust. I know he's played for Everton in the past. I know he's had a taste of the Premier League in the past. But he's not been playing in the Premier League for a long time. And it just takes time to adjust. I think the guy's got it there. We just got to give him a little bit. We need just to feed him in and out of a few more games. And, you know, I think he'll get there. I hope he does anyway.
This is this is an interesting fixture for David Moyes as he returns to the club that he spent many years at and got much success. And when I spoke to Dave last night, he said, "I see a lot of Everton under David Moyes in West Ham." That's really interesting, Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I said it a while ago. You know, if he turns us into how Everton were when he was there, you know, we'd have nothing to moan about. You know, he was consistently getting them in a place to challenge for Europe. They were always a difficult team to beat, you know, and he had a few exciting players as well. So, I mean, if we can get near to that, I think we'll all be happy.
Yeah.
And he is getting us there at the moment.
Nikola Vlasic is coming back to his former club where he spent a loan spell in the 2017-18 season at Goodison Park. Gary says he needs games. Tufty said, yes, I have Rondon will get 2 goals. Tufty's definitely drinking. But we have time when Ben Rama goes in January. Yeah, Ben Rama goes for quite a considerable amount of time to the Africa Cup of Nations with Algeria in January. Is it just a case of we've just got to sit on our hands and just wait until he gets a good long spell in a starting lineup with Vlasic, Mike?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's opportunity to come then. Not change the saying. I mean, that, you know, we're not the only ones who's going to be losing players in January. So there's going to be a few, you know, top players missing from a few different teams. So yeah, we've got to take that on the chin and get on with it.
Who's the one player? Let's put Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison to the side. Who's the one player you fear from Everton, Mike?
Well, I would have said one of those two, but looks like Townsend's in a bit of form, to be fair, and he scored some great goals.
Yeah.
He's sort of got a bit of a new lease of life up there. So, yeah, he'd be one of the players that we've got to look out for.
Yeah. It's Damari Gray as well, what Dave mentioned.
Damari Gray, yeah, is another one. Yeah, he's looked like he's resurrecting his career as well.
He is. Coming from Leicester for Damari Gray and various other clubs for Andros Townsend. They really look like they're rejuvenating their career. Oh, Tufty, Vlasic's just no good. You don't need him. Tufty, talk about Newcastle. You know, you're all back to supporting Newcastle again now because Mike Ashley's gone. Mike Ashley was a fantastic... Oh, I'm only joking. I don't want to wind you up now. Hashtag fans. Oh, my dear. Who's the one key player for West Ham in this game, do you think, then, Mike?
For us, I think it's almost always got to be Antonio.
Yeah.
He's the man at the top there that can do the damage. And
definitely.
Luckily, he didn't go and play for Jamaica, so he should be fresh.
Yeah. Before we let you go, Mike, your prediction?
I'm going to draw as well. Yeah, 2-2. I think there'll be goals in it. I'm saying 2-2. But I'd love to see us get 3 points, but hey, I'm happy with 1 from that game.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult game, that's for sure, up on Merseyside. Mike, thank you very much for coming on. We're now going to do a mid-show substitution. Mike, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers. There's 1 in, and it's 1 out, and in and out, as Shaking's all about. James, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, all good, mate. I am just getting myself sorted out to go and see my girlfriend for the weekend, and I'm back Sunday to do my West Ham thing. So, yeah, I'm all good, man. How are you, mate?
That is good. Yeah. I am. I'm all right. How are you feeling for the game? Confident? Nervous?
I think it's a banker draw, mate.
Yeah.
We don't win at Everton. We have not won at Everton. We won at Everton last year with no fans, granted. But the season before that, we got absolutely destroyed up there in October, funny enough. And yeah, it was. I think we got hammered 4-0. I think it was, and it's another place to go. And someone said to me, right now, we get a point, I'll take it, even if they've got Richarlison and CalvertLewin out.
Do you think we are perhaps overestimating Everton? Do we think we're bigging them up too much, or do you think this is genuinely going to be a tough ask?
Good question. I think we think we're better than what we really are, if I'm honest. Like at the minute, we play well, but in spells. Like we come back from the international break last time out, and you went to Southampton. And you see a poor game after the international break.
Yeah.
We've just come back from another international break now. Are we going to be full strength? That's another thing. I think this game, if we get a point out of this game, that'll do. But the following Sunday's game against Spurs, that's the one we want to win. That's one that we do not want to lose. So I think you've got to respect Everton. Like, I think they've been hammered once this season, and that was against Villa away. Like, they've gone to teams and played pretty decent. They went to Manchester United, got a draw, beat Southampton. I think they've played another team and all. Can't remember who it was. But they've played pretty decent.
Their form so far this season, they started off... Oh, where has my screen gone? That is fabulous. Give me 2 seconds. There we are. So they started off, they were... there is the Premier League. They won against Southampton, drew against Everton, drew against Leeds, won against Brighton. They and they got thrashed. The only game they've been thrashed so far this season has been at the hands of Aston Villa. But Mike, oh my God, what is going on? James, that's who we've got here. James, we've got an Everton fan. Should we bring him on?
Go on, mate. No worries.
We are joined by Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
Good evening, chaps. I'm coming in a little bit from the cold here, but nice to meet you guys.
Thank you very much for coming on. Give us an insight. Everton, how's your season been so far? How have you rated it?
Well, there was a bit of skepticism, shall we say, about Rafa Benitez's arrival, but I think things calmed down quite quickly with some good results. And the League Cup knockout hasn't seemed to halt that level of optimism because there's been some good results, particularly away at Old Trafford, and fans are now feeling quite optimistic. But we have been injury hit, and I think ahead of this fixture as well, we've got a couple of players missing that will play into your hands, certainly, in Richarlison and CalvertLewin being out. Yeah.
Is there any chance of those two being involved, or are those two definitely out injured?
No, there's no chance really. Rafa said it's too soon for them, so you can all enjoy that really, because I think if you've got those two players, it gives Everton that little bit of cutting edge up top where if the ball's coming in, you've got two potent strikers, and I think the replacement in Solomon Rondon is he's a bit of a yard dog really, and I think it'll be bread and butter for Kurt Zouma and whoever plays in the Hammers backline.
That's nice to hear, James, isn't it? That we aren't going to see the diving Richarlison and the quite good Dominic Calvert-Lewin, let's say.
Yeah, that's good, but they've got Andrew Townsend, who's turned into like some sort of well beater all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Prime Cristiano Ronaldo at Old Trafford.
And so listen, whoever Everton play, they're going to be up for it because they're on form at the end of the day. Obviously, they play Man United, got the draw, and got a decent result there. And they should have won the game. It's only a million minutes away from winning the game. So, whoever they play against. But I don't know, with Rondon, he's another one. He loves to score against West Ham. So, it's just...
We was linked with him in the summer as well, James.
Yeah, and we was linked with him in the summer and all. So, it's going to be interesting, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, Damari Gray's another one who's sort of been reborn under Rafa, so he's another one we've got to watch.
Yeah, what are the one thing I've noticed is you brought in Carlo Ancelotti last season, Ryan, and it reminded me massively of Manuel Pellegrini a couple of years ago at West Ham. A big name manager coming in and it just not working. How much of a boost has it given Everton bringing Rafa Benitez in, and how much has it works compared to the failed Carlo Ancelotti?
Well, on Carlo, I mean, you've got to. I think the comparison's almost a little bit disrespectful. We're talking about a manager who's won the Champions League 3 times, and he's won the league in 4 countries. He is the top dog, elite, the creme de la creme, as good as you're going to find really on paper outside of your Klopps and your Guardiolas. So we brought him in thinking we were going to challenge, and the football was initially quite negative, I'd say, trying to just solidify in that first season. Don't think we finished in the top 10. And then in the second season, it was really dire. I mean, after about 7 games, there was no style of play. It was very much sideways. When Hammers wasn't involved, it was like the tactics went out the window. And I think it was kind of, I think fans were heartbroken when Ancelotti left. But when you bring in Rafa, there was a lot of negativity. It was almost like you were having a nightmare and then you were going back to sleep and you were going into another nightmare. But I think overall, it's given us a boost because we've got, you know, he seems settled. He wants to be at Everton Football Club. And I think you can, you know, as West Ham fans, you've got to have a players and manager that want to be at your club. And when they feel comfortable and when they're happy, they're going to deliver. And I think that's really what you're seeing with Rafa, a man who's settled, and the fans are now fully behind him. And it's given us a bit of a boost, really, in that regard.
Yeah. James, Everton sit 5th in the table. This is a very tough game. They sit on 14 points currently. They've had a good start to the season, and you know, this is going to be a very tough ask, especially away from home.
It is, mate. But one thing I will say is we're unbeaten away from home, and we haven't lost since Newcastle away last season. Everton will come forward, but that might work in our favour. When teams come forward against us, we seem to play better against teams who everyone won't sit there and try and defend and hit us on the break. They're going to try and attack us, and that might benefit us from like quick coming out. Do you know what I mean? Everton done a job on us at the LS last season. 3-4-3, as you said earlier, 3 good centre halves in there. Bullied Antonio. If Antonio's on it, then they're going to have trouble. But if Antonio's not, the other 3 have to step up. Bowen, Benrahma and Fornells. And if they do, then we will give them a lot of problems. But yeah, it's going to be an ask. But I don't know. It's just a place West Ham just don't win. They just do not win there. It's like every year it's like give them 3 points there and we might nick a win or draw at home. It always has been for many years. But let's hope from last year that's changed now.
I do think actually you are an improved side dramatically. I think the recruitment from David Moyes and everyone involved at West Ham has been formidable. Also, the progression of players, the fact you've been able to keep individuals and sign players that, you know, the likes of Everton would have happily taken a couple of years ago in Kurt Zouma. So I think there's big reasons to be optimistic. You know, tradition goes out the window. Of course, Everton are strong at home with the fans there. But I think you should be optimistic coming into the game. That being said, I believe you've only won 1 of the last 5 league games. We do sit above you in the league. You haven't really kept many clean sheets. And in fairness, E20, you know what I'm saying? Everton actually want to play the way you've just described West Ham want to play. We'd prefer you to come and attack us and hit you on the break and leave gaps for Gray to, you know, beat 3 players and score. Because that's kind of what we're relying on at the moment. Yeah,
what it is with us is just that I don't know why, but we seem to play better when teams are sort of want to attack us. Like, and as West Ham, I sort of describe West Ham as like the Leeds of the north, of the south. We can attack, but we can also defend where Leeds can't. Leeds are all 100 mile an hour attack until they can't attack no more. And with us, we can defend to a point. But yeah, like it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, but then saying that if you stop Gray and you stop Townsend, then I can really see us stopping Everton. That's their pace factor gone completely out the window. Then, do you know what I mean? Obviously, Rondon isn't a pace merchant; he's a target man. So it's going to be what it is with me. And I'll be honest, is that I've seen West Ham get absolutely ripped apart against Everton at Goodison multiple times, and it's just like I said about Newcastle to Jake. We don't win at these places, and hopefully that tide might have just turned now. Do you know what I mean? We went to Everton last year, but you can't. Anything what happened last year is irrelevant now because there will be fans there, and the Goodison crowd know how to get behind their team.
Yeah. How many similarities, Ryan, can you see within the West Ham setup as it is now with David Moyes to when David Moyes was at Everton? Can you see any similarities in the way David Moyes does things?
I think he's building a side that's arguably better than what he had with us. And we did have a good team under him in the peak years. In terms of the similarities, I think it's a strong defence and building with a really solid anchors in midfield. And I think he'll continue to bring more expansive players in the longer he gets as West Ham manager. And if you give him time, he will do that. He'll bring in some formidable attackers to find that little bit of cutting edge. It will take time. Also, remember, you're in Europe, and he was a bit up and down in Europe with us, and positive signs so far. So I think he likes West Ham. I think it's positive for you guys, and I think there are similarities between that West Ham team at the moment, which looks really well balanced, and probably Everton in 2010, 2009, 2008. Maybe that was a bit too soon, but around those sort of years when we had the likes of Arteta, Cahill, Fellaini, Pienaar, Baines, that was a great team. And I think there are similarities for sure there. Reasons to be optimistic.
Yeah. But before we carry on, Ryan, let people know where they can find you on socials and on YouTube.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook, but YouTube would be most important for us. If you could hit the like and subscribe button on maybe our West Ham versus Everton preview that we've just recorded ourselves. You can search for Follow Everton. That's FOLLOW, follow as you'd normally spell it, Everton, of course, and just give us a little subscribe. That would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I will put the link in the chat so you can go over there and check them guys out. James, anything you'd like to ask Ryan before we go into predictions?
How surprised are you that the job Moyes has actually done at West Ham in such a short space of time?
A good question. You know, in fairness, he went to United in kind of acrimonious circumstances, and he was sacked within 9 months, which was for me premature because nobody can replace Ferguson. And then his career was he became a bit of a joke, really, going to Sunderland and going to Spain. And it was like he'd been written off completely. And if I remember rightly, was he West Ham manager for a year and then he left and then come back?
I think it was like 6 months or 7 months or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He was good in that spell. And I think then he was dismissed and he went for someone more glamorous. Is that right?
That's right, mate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a bad move. I think the Moyes needed stability and he needed to find that home and that love. So in a way, the fact that you've brought him back and you've recruited well, I am not surprised really that he's achieved, because he's proven that he can be a good manager. And I think, yeah, he became a bit of a joke at those clubs, but those weren't the right opportunities for him. And you have to find that connection. You know, players will go to a club, they might be poor, and they might go to a bit like Lingard last season for at West Ham. You know, he found love at West Ham and he found good again. And he was a joke player at United for years, no goals or assists for a couple of years. So, you know, he just built a connection with West Ham. So I'm not surprised, really. Maybe he's done it sooner than you'd anticipate, but he's been really well backed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's go into predictions. James, we'll start with you. What are you going for?
International break's going to be key, mate. And I think we're going to see exactly what happened at Southampton, I think. I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say a 1-0. I think we might score first. Everton would equalise and it'll drift out into a 1-0 game. If we get anything up there, it's a great result. But Everton not full strength and us full strength, I can see us getting something there. So I'll just lean towards the draw. I think it's a banker draw for me, 1-0.
Yeah. Well, James, I hope we play better than we did at Southampton. Otherwise, it's going to be a long car journey back, because that wasn't fantastic at Southampton. So hopefully we can hit better heights than we did there. Well, we didn't really hit any heights at Southampton. We were very flat. But Ryan, from the Everton point of view, what's your prediction?
Well, I think if the two forwards were playing for Everton, the Richarlison and CalvertLewin, I think it is a home win there comfortably for Everton, because you've got the crowd behind and you've got those players there to finish it off. You'd expect that, really. But with those two missing and with West Ham full strength, despite, you know, not really keeping many clean sheets and only the 1 win in 5, I think you'll come to Goodison Park and you'll put in a solid display and pick up points minimum against us. Arguably, I think if you get the run of the draw, you can come away with a win.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so as well. I can see a draw, but you know, I can't predict a draw. That's rubbish. Just James predicts draws. I don't predict draws. I predict wins. Well, West Ham. That's what I'm going for.
My heart says 2-1 Everton. My head saying 2-2.
There you go. Yeah. To come to you then, Ryan, your final thoughts for the game.
Well, my final thought for this game is that it's a big week for us from a West Ham point of view. We've got 3 important games in a week, and basically, if we can pick up 4 points and obviously get a win in the Europa, then that's great for us. But it's all about next week. Also, I don't want to lose against Spurs, and that's the one that we don't want to lose against. And so yeah, it's a big week for us as a club.
It is, definitely. Ryan, thank you very much for coming on at quite short notice tonight, and your final thoughts for the game. How are you feeling?
Well, just to touch on West Ham in general, I think, you've got reasons to be optimistic. And I think this season is about trying to get in and around that top 6 again, and whilst maintaining European, hopes. So if you could get to the quarterfinals and finish in and around the top 6, I think that would be a successful season, really, because it is hard to balance the two. We've seen Moyes has struggled as an Everton manager when he's had Europe and the league to contend with. So I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season, except for on Sunday, of course. But, I'm mildly optimistic just because we've got the fans there. And I think the Old Trafford result shows we can compete with the better sides like yourselves when we're without them. But really, it's a worry. We need to get our 2 players back. And there is a lot to say. I just think this is going to be a very, very tight game. It's going to be an interesting game. And I think it's going to be interesting, particularly because you've got Everton's old manager, David Moyes, and the old Liverpool manager in the Everton dugout at Goodison Park. For me, it's like we're living in an alternative universe. But it will be really interesting to see if there's some sort of tactical battle and how those two, their antics on the touchline. It'd be great.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Ryan, for coming on. And of course, James, as always, for coming on. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. James, we want West Ham win, don't we? We don't want no draws.
Sorry, mate. I've got to say a draw, because if I say I win and we end up drawing, I'll be fuming. But hopefully we win 6-0, but I doubt it.
More chance of winning the Euro Millions tonight, mate.
I'll win that and all.
Thanks for having me on, and once again, it'd be great if you could, if you haven't, I know you're West Ham fans, which is fantastic, but you can search for Follow Everton on YouTube and hit that subscribe button on our channel. We're a tiny, minuscule channel, but it would mean a lot to us. Just help us try and get to 500 subs. That'd be great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Check them on. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the game.
Thank you. Cheers.
See you soon. Bye now.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.